So let's just select the top stair and the floor, and then we'll hide unselected. Okay. And in the top view here, let's go back into shapes and we'll grab another circle. Let's drag that out. Right. And we'll figure out the size in a second. Let's just center it on X and Y. Okay. And we'll go back into interpolation here. We'll take this back up to 6. Oops. Right, and let's bring this down a bit. Let's do maybe 145 for that as well. Right, and let's actually take off adaptive instead of worrying about the steps. And if you take off adaptive, it'll add a whole bunch of extra segments to the spline anywhere that it's curved, right, just to make it a lot smoother. So we'll just do adaptive because it's a circle. Okay, let's move this up to the top. Alright, and let's actually unhide everything for a second just so we can see where our railing is. Okay, we'll bring this up and line it up with the top rail coming up the stairs. Okay, just like that. Alright, and with that circle selected, let's select the floor and the top stair again, and then we'll hide unselect it. Okay, so we just have these 3 objects. Alright, so select our circle, and in the top view, let's right click and convert this to editable spline. Then we'll drop into vertex, and let's go down here to refine. Alright, and let's add a point right here on the circle with the edge of the stair, something like that. Okay, and let's also do one over here, maybe about there. Okay, just up a little bit from this one here. Alright, then we can turn refine off, and we'll go into segment, and we'll select this segment over here in the middle, and we can just delete that. Okay, now it'll just give us an opening for the top of the stairs. Right. Okay, so let's go back up to the top here, and we'll check these boxes again, and we'll give this a radius or thickness of 6 to match the stair railing. Alright, just like that. Right. Then in the front view here, I'm just going to unhide all, and we'll just line this up with the top rail there. Okay, just with this. Right, and now we'll hold shift and I'm just going to drag down. Right, and we'll just do 1 copy here, and okay, and then we'll set the thickness on this one to 2 like we did before. Alright, we'll just line that up with the one coming up the railing here. Alright, so just like that. And let's hold shift and drag down again on the Y, and we'll line that second one up. Okay, and then we'll do 5 copies on this one, and okay, and those should line up perfectly with the ones coming up the stairs. Alright, that'll make it look a little bit more uniform and finished. Okay, so just like that. And the next thing we'll do here is let's grab this post at the top of the stairs. Alright, and in the top view, let's zoom in, and we'll just hold shift, and I'm just going to drag a copy of this over to the end of the railing we just made. Okay, and choose copy, and we're just going to put this halfway into the railing. Alright, so half is still sticking out like that. Alright, just so that the small bars here are going into it but not coming out the other side. Alright, so like that. And let's also go back in the top view here, and let's go into the hierarchy panel, and we'll click effect pivot only, and then we'll right click the move tool, and we'll zero out X and Y again. Alright, and close that, and we'll turn the button off. Okay, and with the post still selected, let's go up to tools and array. Okay, and let's activate rotate here by clicking this little arrow, and we'll put 360 degrees on the Z, and we'll choose copy, and let's hit preview. Okay, and I'm not sure how many of these copies we're going to need. Let's do 11. Okay, so let's hit OK, and that'll give us our copies evenly spaced around our circle here. So let's select this post here, which is an extra one we don't need. We'll just delete that. And as you can see, these splines here are sticking through the post. Alright, and rather than try to move the post over to compensate for that, which will give us a wider gap between these posts rather than every other one, we're just going to trim the ends of these off. Alright, so let's zoom in here. I'm just going to go into wireframe of F3, and we'll select this top one here. Okay, then we'll go into the modify panel again and drop into vertex. Let's go down to refine, and we'll just add a point right inside the railing or the post here. Okay, so just click in there to add one. I'll turn the thickness off so you can see it. Okay, so just add a point right in there. Right, then we'll select the end point and we can just delete that. Alright, and then we'll turn these back on and just check to see if that looks right. Okay, not sticking out. Alright, and actually rather than do that for each piece, we can just actually re-clone this piece to make it faster. So let's just select these 5 ones here. Whoops. Okay, just the 5 lower ones, and we'll delete those. And then we'll reselect the piece that we cut the end off of, and in the front view we'll just re-clone it down. Okay, so let's just shift drag that down and line it up like that, and then we'll do 5 copies and OK. Alright, and that should take care of that for us. Right, and don't worry about the tops here sticking out or coming up short. We'll fix that later when we make our final adjustments. Alright, so let's just change the color of this stuff, and we'll put the gray shader on there. Okay, so that's what we have so far. And although that looks like it might be right, it's really not. As you can see here, we have a pretty big gap in here between the top stair and the opening in the railing. So if someone was to step in here, they're going to fall right down this hole and get broken up on those bottom stairs. So we need to put something else in here to kind of make this look right. And I think we can just modify the top stair, or maybe even rebuild the top stair to get more of a platform in here than what we have right now. Okay, so we'll do that next. So let's select the top stair, and we'll also select the main pillar, and let's grab this post here and this one and also the floor. Okay, and then we'll right click and hide unselected just so we have these 5 objects left. Alright, so let's go to the top view, and we'll zoom in a bit on the hole here. Let's go back into the shapes, and we'll grab a circle. We'll just drag that out from the center. Okay, and let's also center it on X and Y. Okay, and for the radius of this, let's do maybe 125. Alright. And I think that should work fine. Let's right click and we'll convert this to editable spline. Then we'll go back into vertex and we'll go down to refine again. And let's just add a point on the circle right in line with the edge of this top stair here. Okay, so just click one in there. And then we'll add one over here in line with this post, maybe just slightly down from that post. So something like there. Okay? And then we'll go into segment and we'll select all the segments. And we'll just deselect this one here and the small one at the top. Okay? And then we can just delete the rest. And that'll just leave us with kind of a quarter of our circle. Right, so let's go back into shapes and we'll grab a line. And let's just drag this out from the top here, right at the edge. we'll just bring this down, and we'll come down past the end of the stair here. Alright, so just like that. And then we'll go over and try to line it up with the edge of our circle there. Okay, click, then right click to end. Alright, and let's select the top stair, and we'll just hide that for a second. Okay. And let's select our circle here, and then we'll attach it to the line. Okay. And then we'll go into vertex again, and let's grab these two verts at the end here. And we'll go down to weld, and let's up the weld amount. Just put something high in there like 10 or 11, and then we'll hit weld, and we'll do the same with these two verts over here on this side. Just weld those. Okay. And let's select this vert at the bottom here, and we're going to come over here and click on fillet, and then we'll just click and hold the mouse button down and drag up, and that'll round that vert over for us. Okay. So let's do it something like that, and then we'll just move these over a bit. Okay. And we'll just try to get an even gap between the edge of this and the center post. Okay, so just like that. Alright. So let's go to vertex, and let's move this up to the top. Okay. Just put it up there. So pretty much a big pie slice. Alright. And let's put an extrude on here. Okay, and we'll give that an amount of, say, just about 5 or so for now. Alright. And let's also go into isolation mode with Alt Q. And I'm just going to change the color of this. Okay. And I don't think we really need this many segments, so let's drop back down into the spline, and we'll turn on show end result. Okay. And let's find the interpolation settings here, and let's just take the steps down a bit. Let's maybe do 4 or so on the steps. Okay, that'll take out some of those edges that we don't really need. Okay, so we'll go 4, and then we'll go back up to the extrude, and let's just right click, and we'll convert this to editable poly now. And then we'll go into vertex, and in the front view, let's just select all the bottom verts, and let's delete those so we have a plane left. Alright, this will just make it a little easier to work on. Okay, so let's go into vertex here, and I'm just going to go into wireframe with F3. Right. Alright, and let's go over here to the side. Let's just do this in the top view. You can see we have a bunch of extra verts on this corner over here. So let's zoom in on that, and we'll just select the 4 in the middle between these two. And we can just hit remove to get rid of those. Okay. Okay, so let's just grab maybe this vert over here, and we'll select the second one down at the back, and then we'll just do a connect to cut that edge in there. Okay, we'll do the same thing with this one here. Grab that guy and the next one, and we'll connect those. And let's do the same on this side. Grab this one, and connect, and this one, and connect. Okay. And for this extra one here, let's just go into cut, and let's cut from this vert here just down into this edge here. Okay, just like that, and then right click to end. Alright, and we'll go back into vertex, and we just want to space these out a little bit better. So let's go over here and put our edge constraint back on. We'll just grab this vert here, and let's just move them along. Okay, maybe something like that, and then we'll just move this one over. Alright, just to get a bit better spacing in there. And that looks pretty even. Okay, so just like that. Okay, and with that done, we can put a shell on this, or you can use an extrude if you want. Okay, so let's bring the outer amount up, and let's do that, say, maybe about 8 or so. And we'll take the our inner amount 8, and outer amount, we'll just zero that out. Okay, and we can adjust the thickness later on. Alright, so with that done, we'll right click and convert to editable poly. And then we're going to need to add some support edges here as well, so let's go into edge, and we'll just grab one of the center edges and do a ring. Let's do a connect on that, and we'll do 2 segments and just pinch them apart. Okay, and we want them to be pretty close to the edge. Let's do maybe 98 or so on that, and okay. And let's see. Let's grab one of these edges here, and we'll ring that and connect. Okay, and let's just take one segment and no pinch, and I'm actually going to leave that at 0, so no pinch or slide, just so it's in the middle down here. Okay, and then we'll adjust it by vertex later on. Just pull this over to even the support edges out. Okay, so just do one segment with no pinch or slide for that one, and we'll do the same thing over here. Do a ring on that edge and a connect. Okay, and then we'll go into the top view, and we'll go into vertex, and we'll zoom in here. Let's grab these ones here, and we'll put the edge constraint back on, and we'll just pull those over. Okay, just like that. And let's see how the bottom looks. And this looks a little bit of a mess down here, but it should be fine. We'll just leave it in the middle and see how it looks before we adjust that one. Okay, so let's grab these 2 over here, and we'll pull these down as well. Okay, just like that. And let's also add a couple around the sides here. So let's go into edge, and we'll grab the corner one and do a ring and a connect, and we'll do 2 segments, and let's just pinch those up a bit. And let's do about 65 or so on the pinch for that, and okay. Alright, and now let's put a turbo smooth on here, and we'll see how this looks. So we'll do 2 iterations and ice line. Okay. And that looks okay. Let's drop back down into editable poly here for a second. And let's add a couple of support edges just across the middle, just to break these long polygons up. So we'll grab an edge here, and let's do a ring, and we'll do a connect. And let's just do 3 segments with no pinch or slide, and okay. And we'll get out of edge and turn the turbo smooth back on, just to see if that looks a little better. Okay, I think that should work fine. So let's exit isolation mode here, and we'll see if this is lining out properly. Okay, and you can see our floor hole here looks a little jaggy on the edge, so let's actually put a 3rd iteration on there, right, just to smooth it out a bit better. Okay, so let's right click and we'll hide all, and in the front view here, let's just figure out where we need this to be. Okay, so let's select the platform there, and we'll just move it down and line it up with the original top stair. Okay, like that. And we can actually scale a little bit bigger, so let's just scale up on the Y. Maybe something like that. Okay. And I think that should work. So let's select our original top stair there, and we'll just delete that. Okay, and then we'll put the black color on there and the white material. Okay, and we'll just make sure that that looks right here. Alright, looks like everything's lining up good. So I think we'll go with that. And I think the next thing we'll do is just make a small piece of railing that comes across this side here, alright, just so it's not open to the stairwell. Alright, so we'll get started on that piece next. Okay, so let's select this post here and this one, and we'll also select the floor, and let's do the top stair as well. And we'll right click and hide unselect it. Okay. Right, and let's just grab one of our posts here. And let's just hold shift, we'll drag a copy of that. Okay, and choose copy, and okay. And then we're going to go into the hierarchy tab, and we'll hit effect pivot only, and we'll hit center to object, and then we'll turn the button off. And we'll right click on the move tool and zero out the X and Y spinners. Okay, just so the posts align with the center of our main pillar coming up the stairs. Alright, so we'll close that. And we can actually hide this one now. Okay, so let's go into the top view. And I think I'll also hide the step there. And let's go into the shapes again, and we'll grab another line. Let's just draw this out from this post to this one. And then right click to end. And we'll go into the modify panel and drop down into vertex. Let's just line this one up with the center of this post as best we can. So like that. And then for this end, we'll just pull this out past the post a little bit, just so the rail will stick out a little bit farther. Okay, so something like that. Right, and let's right click and unhide all for a minute. And let's just move our spline up in the left view to the top. Okay. And let's also turn on the two checked boxes, and we'll make that 6 for the thickness, so it matches our top rail here. And then we'll just move this down and line it up. Okay, and let's also give this one 25 sides. Alright, just like that. Okay. And let's go back into the front view here, and we'll do the same process here. Let's just shift drag a copy down on the Y. Okay, we'll just choose copy with 1, and okay. And we'll give this one a thickness of 2 to match those lower rails there. Okay, we'll just move this down into position with the top one. Okay, just like that. And then we'll hold shift and drag another copy down and line it up with the second one. And then we'll choose 5 here for copies, and okay. Alright, just so everything's lined up evenly here. Like that. And let's actually undo that for a second. Okay, let's actually adjust the end of this one first. It's still sticking through. Okay, so we'll grab the vert on the end of this one, and in the top view, let's just pull that back into the center of our post. Okay, so just like that, just so it's not sticking out the end here. Okay, and now we'll get out of vertex and we'll redo the copies here. Alright, so in the front view, we'll just do this again. Shift drag that down and choose 5, and okay. Alright, just like that. Okay, and let's see here. Let's select our top rail here, the new one, and we'll also select the top of the circular piece. Alright, and let's select this corner post here, and then we'll hide unselect it. So we just have these 3 in the viewport. Okay, and in the top view, let's see if we can attach these together. Okay, let's grab our circular one here, and let's see if we can pull the vert back to match the post here rather than adding any more verts to that spline. Okay, so let's go into vertex, we'll grab the end one here, and we'll just pull this back. Okay, right, just to the center like that. And we'll have to make a little bit of adjustment to this curve later on because we've screwed it up a bit. Okay, so let's get out of vertex. Okay, And let's see, let's attach these together now. Okay, so with the circular one selected, we're going to go down to attach, and we'll attach it to the straight line there. Okay, and then we'll go into vertex, and let's just select both the verts at the ends here. Okay, and we'll just weld those up. Okay, so now it's one object, and let's see if we can adjust this piece here a bit. You can see it's got a little bit of a kink in it now. Alright, so I'm just going to select that vert, and we'll just move the handles just a little bit to see if we can tweak that out a bit better. Okay. Let's actually try to move this vert down just a bit. Okay, we'll see how that looks. Okay, just like that. And if it's got a slight little bit of a kink in there, you can try to adjust it more, but I think I'll just leave it like this for the tutorial, just so you don't have to see me trying to move this around for another 5 minutes. Okay? So now what we're going to do is just convert this to an editable poly. Okay, so let's get out of vertex, and we'll right click and we'll convert this to editable poly. Okay, and let's go into the corner here in the top view, and we'll go to edge, and let's just grab one of these edges here on this loop, and we'll do a loop on that, and let's do a chamfer. Okay, and let's see, let's just round that over a bit. Let's do about a 1 on that. Okay, and I think that should be fine. Okay, so see how that looks? And I'll just soften that corner first a little bit so it doesn't look too sharp. Okay, and we're going to need to turbo smooth this, so let's add some support edges at the end so that it doesn't flatten out when we put that on later on. Okay, so we'll go into the end here of the long piece. And let's go into polygon, and let's just grab all these polys here, and then we'll hold Alt and deselect these ones, so we just have the cap. Okay, and you can see we have a couple of extra faces here, which will give us a problem when we turbo smooth, so let's just delete all these out of here. Okay, and then we'll go into border and select the border, and then we'll cap it again. Alright, and then we'll go into polygon and select the polygon on the end, and let's do an inset on that, and we'll take this down a bit. Let's do about 0.5 or so on that. Okay, just for an inside support edge. And okay. And then we'll go into edge, and let's grab an edge here, and we'll do a ring on that, and a connect. And we'll slide this down. Oops, wrong way. Okay. We'll do about 99 or so on the slide for that. And okay. Let's actually just pull this a little bit closer to the edge on the x-axis. Okay, so just slide that down a bit more. Okay, just like that. And we'll do the same thing over here. Zoom in here. And we'll go into poly. Let's select these polygons. Okay. Then we'll hold Alt and deselect these ones. And then we'll just delete the cap. And we'll go to border, select the border, and recap it. Okay. Then we'll select the polygon and do an inset. And we'll do that the same amount, 0.5, and okay. Then we'll go into edge, and let's do a ring on these ones, and we'll just connect that up with one segment. Okay, and we'll bring that down this way. And let's do about -93 or so on that, and okay. Alright. And let's also select these edges here, and we'll just add a couple of extra segments in there with connect. Okay, so let's do about 3 and no pinch or slide, and okay. Alright. And over here, let's just take out a couple of these edges. I don't think we need this many here. Okay, so let's grab one, say here, and maybe this one as well. And we'll just do a loop on those two and control backspace them out. Alright. Alright, and we'll see how this side looks over here. Okay, it looks pretty even. Okay, so let's put a turbo smooth on this piece, and we'll see how it looks. And we'll do 2 iterations and ice line. Okay. So that looks like it's pretty good. It's giving us a pretty good soft corner here. And everything seems to be holding up pretty good. So let's right click and unhide all. Okay. And then we'll just select these other pieces here and put that black color on there and the gray material. Okay. So that'll be pretty much the finished model. We still need to make a few small adjustments. So let's go into the top of the rail here, and you can see that these are only halfway into the post, and that really doesn't look right at all. We should bring them out a little bit farther. Okay, so let's do that. Let's just select the rail here. Okay, and we'll go into the top view, and we'll see if we can pull this out a little bit longer. So let's drop back into Edit Poly. And let's go to Vertex, and let's see. Let's actually extrude the end of this out. I don't want to pull it out too far so that these segments are a lot longer than these ones here. These look pretty even right now, so let's just extrude the end out. Okay, so we'll zoom in here, and we'll go into Polygon and select the polygon there, and then we'll just grow that once just to get the whole end selected. Okay, and in the top view we'll just hit extrude, and we'll bring this down a bit. Let's do about 4 or so for that, and okay, and we'll just slightly move those down a bit, just like that. Alright, and let's also just move this support edge down to the end again. So we'll go into edge and just select an edge on this loop here, and we'll do a loop on that, and then we'll also go down and put our edge constraint back on, and we'll just slide this down to the end. Okay, just like that. And we'll get out of edge, and let's turn the turbo smooth back on. Okay, that looks pretty good. And the side's already done here in the middle, so that'll take care of the top railing. Let's drag the end of our actual rail here out on the stairs. Okay, so let's select this one here. Alright. And we'll go into Vertex, and let's grab the end one here. Okay, just on the end. And in the top view, it's going to be a little bit hard to see. Let me try to get a better angle on it. Okay, in the top view here, I'm just going to zoom in, and we'll just pull this slightly to the left. Okay, and you can see the perspective view where it's at, so just come out a little bit past the post, like that. Right? Okay, and that looks pretty good. So let's go down to the bottom here, and we'll have the same thing at the end. Alright, so let's just grab the vert at the end of the rail, and we'll do the same thing here. We'll go into the top view, and we'll just pull this out a bit. Okay, so just bring it down a bit. Okay, just enough to clear. Whoops. Right, just like that. And that'll give us a little bit more of a finished look. Okay, so that'll complete the model, and I think it turned out pretty good. And the next thing we could do is maybe just attach some of these pieces together, alright, just to clean up the scene a little bit. Alright, so let's select the floor here, and we'll just hide that. And then we'll go into the rail. Let's just select this one here, the skinny one. And we'll go down and we'll just attach this to the other ones. Okay. And you don't want to attach it to another spline that has a different radius setting, like this one. Okay, because that'll take over the settings and change them to whatever the piece was that you already have selected. Okay, so let's undo that. So just attach them to ones that have the same settings, and that applies to radius as well as interpolation settings. Okay, so if you have something on adaptive and you attach it to something that's not adaptive, it'll make it adaptive. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Okay, so we'll just attach these 5 together, and we'll just call this maybe rail detail. Okay, and we'll right click and hide that, and then we'll select the actual railing, and we'll just call that rail, and we can hide that. Alright, and let's select the post here, and let's go over to attach multiple here, and we'll just select all of our posts. Okay, and we'll attach those together, and we'll just call these posts. And you can attach whatever you like together, keep parts separated if you want. And one thing to keep in mind when you're building something like this is if you're going to be texturing it with actual textures, you'll want to make sure that you unwrap your first piece before you start cloning it. Okay, so like if you're going to put a wood or something on these stairs or another texture, you'd want to UV map the first piece before you start making the copies, and the same goes with the railings. Okay, so always map your first piece, and that'll save you a lot of work down the line. Alright, and if you're using procedural materials, just clean ones, you can pretty much just attach most stuff together as long as it's going to have the same material. Alright, so we'll just hide these posts, and let's select the center pillar here. Alright, and we can actually just put a smooth modifier on that now. And we'll just hit auto smooth just to make sure it's not faceted when it renders. Okay, so we'll hide that. Then we'll come up to the top here, and let's just call this top one upper rail or something. Okay, and we'll hide that. And then we'll select these ones here, and we can attach these together. Alright. And if you want to, you could actually just convert these splines to editable poly. And if you are going to convert them to editable poly, you might want to take the segments or sides down on the splines just a bit. I mean, this is pretty high res. Okay, you probably don't need that many if you're going to be converting it to editable poly, especially if you're going to be smoothing it. Okay, so you can take the adaptive off and just adjust the steps to get the look you want. Okay, so we'll attach these ones to these straight ones here. Okay, and then we'll turn off the attach button, and we'll just name this something like upper rail detail or something like that. Okay, and then we can hide that, and we'll select our piece here, and it's already named, so we'll hide that. And if you're going to be using procedural materials, or if you have these stairs unwrapped, you can actually attach them together. It won't wreck the UVs. Okay, and before you attach them together, just make sure you take off the turbo smooth and then reapply it after they're attached. Okay, so I'm just going to leave these separate on mine, but you can attach them together if you like. Okay, so that's all the pieces. So let's unhide all. Alright, and that'll just help organize the scene a little bit better. And it's always a good thing to name your pieces and try to keep everything organized, especially when you're working on a scene with a lot of pieces. Okay. Okay, so I guess that'll be the finished spiral staircase model, and I hope you got a good result and also picked up maybe a few techniques here and there. Okay, so I guess that'll about do it, and thanks for watching.